Amazing.
I know.
Mera.
We're on Tzadik Dalid, 94. We'll start from Tzadik Gimel Amud Beis on the bottom. Itmar. Koisel sheben shtei chatzer shenafal. Two chatzerot. They did not make an eruv with each other. They had their own personal eruv. And then the wall in between the chatzeros fell. Rav says, "Ein metatlin boel ba'arba amos." He does not hold that hoil v'hutru hutru. That, I mean, they started off that they were allowed to carry. When that Shabbos started, they could carry from their house into their own chutzner because they made an eruv. They didn't make an eruv, a joint eruv. Now these chatzeros are open to each other. So he doesn't use the svar of hutra, hoil v'hutra hutra. No, since they are now open to each other and they're usher because they did not make an eruv to each other, you can't carry it at all. It's one rishus, and you don't have an eruv that was made appropriately. And one usher is the other. And Shmuel said, no, each one can carry like they started out. They can carry to where the wall was, because hoil v'hutra hutra. We're talking about kalim that were in the bias, because Shmuel holds you can go from the house to the chutzner if you have an eruv. I mean, because it would be no chiddush to say that if it started out in the chutzner, you could carry that, because you can go, according to Shmuel, from chutzner to chutzner. Remember, that was our Mishnah with chutzner and karfeif and gag. They're all considered one rishus according to Shmuel, because the halakha is like Reb Shimon. And Shmuel held that it's bein she'irva, bein shelo irva. It was not goizer. And this statement of Rav, who said that you cannot carry ela arba amos, lav b'feirush itmar. We didn't hear him say that clearly. Ela mechlol itmar. We deduced it. The Rav Shmuel Ava Yossi Ba'u Chotzer. Rav and Shmuel were sitting in a chotzer. Nafal guda de beni beni, and a wall fell that was between two chatzeros. Armalahu Shmuel shkula glima negidu ba. Shmuel said, let's take a curtain and hang it there where the mechitza was. And Ahadrinu Rav la'api, Rav turned his face away, expressing displeasure, because if you're going to carry a curtain, that means to the wall, you're carrying more than dalad amas. Armalu Shmuel, he copied Abba. Abba was the name for Rav. Shkulu hemne ukatri ba. Well, if you think that this curtain is not sturdy enough, maybe we should tie it with a belt to make it like a real mechitza. So, l'shmuel lama liha. I mean, why do I need to hang anything? Shmuel already said, even if the wall fell down, you could continue to carry there, because we said hoil v'hutra hutra. What's the mechitza doing there? So the Gemara says it's not a mechitza. Shmuel ovid l'tzniusa ba'alma. It's just modesty. They didn't want the people from the other chutzner looking in. It had nothing to do with the mechitza. Now, the Rav Isvir lay the Osir. What was this Rav turning his face? If he held it was prohibited to do what Shmuel did, lay malay. Let him say openly to Shmuel, you're wrong. So the Gemara answers, Asrei to Shmuel. This was the neighborhood of Shmuel. He was the Mord Asra there. Because of nimusim between Rabbonim is why he didn't say it openly. Okay, so then if it's from a politeness, he shouldn't have said anything, then why did he express displeasure by turning his face? And for the Gemara, he had to make a statement to show that he didn't change his mind and now holds like Shmuel. He holds like his shita. Period. Mishnah. Chotzer that was had a wall between it and the Rishus Rabim. So prior you could carry in that chotzer, but then the wall broke, and now is open Rishus Rabim. The Mishnah says, "Amachnis mitochal Rishus Hayachid." If you carry something from the chotzer into Rishus Hayachid or Rishus Hayachid l'tochal chayiv de Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says the chotzer becomes a Rishus Rabim. The Chachamim Oimri, no. Mitochal Rishus Rabim, Rishus Rabim l'tochal potter. B'nei sheika karmelis. It's not mutter, it's potter of a losser, but it's not chayiv midoraisa. It's a karmelis. Right, the Gemara Rabbi Eliezer. Mishum denifritz Rishus Rabim, Avilei Rishus Rabim. Just because the wall falls down, like why should the chotzer, which is owned by a private individual, become a Rishus Rabim? The Gemara says it does. Rabbi Eliezer is tamei. Rabbi Eliezer is consistent. The Tanya. You don't remember Rabbi Eliezer. Rabim sheboru derech la'atzmon. Let's say the public has chosen in a field to walk through that field. So it's like public domain, eminent domain. Masha baru baru. So you can't take it away from the public. And you cannot fence it in. So the Gemara says, Eini, it's not so. That's not a regular Rishus HaYachid. That's a case where there was previously a road in that field. And then the road was plowed over. It became somebody's private field. But because it was originally a public field, they can't just take a private field and turn it into Rishus Rabim. So maybe you'll say, maybe as well, our Mishnah is talking about a chotzer, which originally was part of Rishus Rabim. And then we see many times a private individual took it over and built a thing there. And now this is just the public taking back what it once had. That's why Rabbi Eliezer maybe says it's Rishus Rabim, but the Gemara says that's not so. Rav Chanina, ad mekom mechitza machlokas. The mashma kol hachatzer kula ad mekom mechitza hayu chachamim oisnos or karmelis. Aval b'makom mechitza moidu. That means the place of the wall itself, the chachamim agreed that it was Rishus Rabim, but the mechitza itself, the chotzer itself was a karmelis, but Rabbi Eliezer holds that the whole karmelis becomes a Rishus Rabim. The whole chotzer becomes Rishus Rabim. So, eima al makom mechitza machlokas. No, they're only arguing by the wall itself, because that's where the Rishus Rabim was. The E-boy Sema, other people say that this machlokas has nothing to do with a chotzer, but see the Rishus Rabim kamiflagi. See the Rishus Rabim are these side areas that the Rishus Rabim goes and does business in. Rabbi Eliezer served see the Rishus Rabim ki Rishus Rabim though. Since people gather there, it's considered like Rishus Rabim. Rabbanan Savri, it's not the main road; it's a side. And see the Rishus Rabim lav Rishus Rabim double. Freik the Gemara of a liflik, but see the Rishus Rabim ba'alma. So why are we schlepping in a chotzer? Let them argue by it. See, they Rishus Rabim. So if Rishus Rabim ba'alma, if they can only argue by the sides of Rishus Rabim, Havamina, and keep pligi Rabban Aleid Rabbi Eliezer, Hanimili heicha de ika chifufe. They have like little side walls that the people would gather there. They would have posts on the side of the house, which is mafriya from ishtamshus by the Rishus Rabim. So maybe there they agree. But maybe if there's no impediment to the Rishus Rabim walking through it like a chotzer whose walls come falling down, maybe we would have thought that Chachamim agree with Rabbi Eliezer that the whole chotzer becomes Rishus Rabim. Kamash Balon, that no. So the Gemara says, why did the Mishnah, when it says if you carry from the chotzer to Rishus Rabim, it's potter. The Reisha said Hamachnis, which is a Yachid Litocha. Why did the Mishnah change its syntax? Hi did Rabbanan Mitocha, Nami Mitocha. This is stylistic. Since in the Reisha it used the same word, we use the same word in the Sefer. Rabbanon, Rabim, and I understand. The Ezra is talking about Tzidar Rishus Rabim, and they're talking about the Chotzer. So this is the dialogue. Mi lo kamoidus lawn. Don't you, Rabbi Eliezer, agree to us? If you carry from the Chotzer Rishus Rabim, Rishus Rabim l'tocha de potter. Why? Then they see Carmelis. It's not a Rishus Hayachid anymore. It's a Carmelis. And Sidei Nami Loshna, and the Sidei Rabim would be the same din. Rabbi Eliezer, no. Hasam lo kadar sila Rabim. I'll agree by the Tzidei Rishus Rabim that maybe there it's a Carmelis. But Hacha, once the wall of the Chotzer falls down, there's no impediment for the Rishus Rabim public to walk in there, Kadar Sila Rabim, so it becomes fully like the Rishus Rabim. Mishnah. Chotzer Shenifrit Rishus Rabim. Mario?
Yes.
So what about Kenny Alter? Because he said he was going to come back tonight.
Tomorrow.
Wednesday night.
Tomorrow night. Okay. Chotzer Shenifrit Rishus Rabim Mishtei Ruchoseha. You have a chotzer that the two walls on either side of the chotzer both have a Rishus Rabim that come next to it, and both walls fell down. Let's say a house has a Rishus Rabim on either side of it, and its two walls fell down. Or and let's say these things happened on Shabbos, and the mavui, which has a koira or a lechi at the opening that allows you to carry in the mavui, fell down. The Mishnah says mutar b'osur Shabbos. That Shabbos you're permitted. However, next week, unless you correct it, asur losid lavo. The following week, it's going to be asur unless you fix it. Div Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosi Omer, im mutar losid Shabbos, mutar losid lavo. No, you can't have it two ways. If it's mutar this week, it's going to be mutar next week. Im asur losid lavo, asur losid Shabbos. Now, it clearly is not going to be mutar next week. So he's trying to say, since it's asur losid lavo, it's asur for this Shabbos. We'll see what the Psak Halacha is later. B'may askin. What kind of breakdown of a wall we talking? Are we talking about 10 amas or less? An opening in a wall 10 amas or less is an opening. It's not the destruction of the. So why there shouldn't be any problem carrying in this house or chotzer forever? Who cares whether you have an opening on one side or you have an opening on both sides? Elabi yeser meiser. Once you have an opening in a wall more than 10, so the whole wall is invalidated. So I understand. So you need 4 walls. If you have only 3 walls, so why is the case both walls have to be knocked down? Even one wall knocked down would be a problem. Now the Rishonim, some say that mina Torah, 3 walls is enough. Or actually, mina Torah, 2 walls is enough, and 3 is l'chol deis. The machlokes Rishonim regarding that issue. But in the Havamina of the Gemara is that 3, even having 1 wall knocked down would not be good. We're talking about less than 10 amas. So if it's less than 10 amas, why don't we treat these openings just as a doorway? And for the Gemara, Kagon Shenifetza B'Keren Zavis. This 10 amas opening was done in a corner. And people don't make doors in a corner, so it's clearly not a door. The pischa b'keren zavis lo have the inshi. V'chein bayis shenifretz mishtei ruchosa. We said a house, the same thing. Ma'ishna meruach achas. Now, by a house, if one wall is knocked down, is not a problem. That means in Pitikra Yord V'Soisim, you have a roof, and you have this concept at the edge of the roof, you imaginally draw a wall down. So Mishtei Ruchos Nabi Lema Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. You can say Pisikra even when you have missing two walls. Amid Rav Menashe Shmei Rav Kagon Shenifretz B'Keren Zavis. That the opening was in the corner, the Kirui of Balachson, and it's not a flat roof, it's a slanted roof, and there, the Leka Lamemer Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. Now, Shmuel Amar Filu B'Yeser Me'aser. Shmuel says that if you have an opening even more than 10, will also be okay. Iachi Meruch Achas Nami. Lo Misan Le'el B'Shtei Ruchos. He's talking about a chotzer now, not a bias. Afilu B'Yeser Me'aser. Now, if it's more than Eser, why do you need two walls down? So, because Mishum bias, that means he wanted to show you that by a bias, he permits, even if it's greater than 10 with two walls. It's only by a chotzer he says no. So, but then you could ask a kasha by a bias gufei tikshri. Why, if you lost one of the walls of a house, does it work? That means in Pisikra Yord V'Soisim we drop a fictional wall. Mishtei Ruchos Nami name a Pisikra Yord. You could say Pisikra with two walls. So, Shmuel Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. Shmuel doesn't even hold of this. Vayitmach Sandra Bebika. If you have a gazebo, which is 4 posts with a roof, but no walls, and that's in a meadow, Rav Amar Mutar L'Tata B'Kula. You're allowed to carry in such a pavilion because he holds your Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. Ushmuel Amar Emataltin Bola Ba'arba Amos, because he doesn't hold of Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. So the Gemara says, "Halo Ikasha Kileslei Ba'arba." Well, you need to make 4 walls using the fictional Pitikra. He doesn't hold of that. But Aval B'Sholish Islay, but 3 missing walls, you could do it. If there was 1 wall Kilchasa, you could use the Pisikra concept for the other 3 walls. Still Mikom Makom Kasha. We still didn't answer the question, why then if Shmuel says yes, then it should work even with two walls down. So Rav Mishmei Rav, you can't say Pisikra Yord V'Soisim because this wall opening is in a corner and it's not a straight roof, it's a slanted roof. Shmuel lo amar karav. Shmuel doesn't hold like that because Allah's on loiktani, because the Mishnah doesn't say anything about a roof that was slanted. The Rav lo amar Shmuel because even can't have Alexandra because he doesn't hold like Shmuel, because if you're going to just teach me the din of Pisikra, then what's the use of the case of Alexandra from that other Gemara? Rav Tameh, because we already know his Shita Alexandra Mutar L'Tata B'Kula. Okay. Where do we see this halacha? Di'itmar, Alexandra B'Bika. You have a pavilion which is in a meadow, which is a carmelis that you can't carry in. But now you've got 4 posts with a roof. Rav Amar Mutar L'Tata B'Kula, you can walk anywhere in the Alexandra. Shmuel Amar Eimatatim B'Labar B'Amais. Rav Amar Mutar L'Tata B'Kula, I mean in Pisikra Yord V'Soisim. Because we hold of drawing a line imaginally from the edge of the roof down. Shmuel Amar Eimatatim B'Labar B'Amais. Why? Because lo amin Pitikra Yord V'Soisim. Now, be'eser kula amaloi pligi. If the opening of these walls are only 10 amas by this gazebo, then there's no machloikas. It's viewed, even Shmuel will hold pisikra yord v'soisim. Ki pligi be'eser me'eser. They argue if it's more, then Rav says you can still use the fictional pisikra. Shmuel says you can't. Some say they don't argue regarding if it's more than 10, then we don't say pisikra. Ki pligi be'eser. And even there, Shmuel says we don't hold pisikra. But that we're going to say for tomorrow. The Mitzvah Hashem will finish Perek Shi tomorrow.